for it. Yes, 100-foot cord. It works, but it does work very well. It doesn't get tired. I can keep tilling until I get tired, and it doesn't get tired. It's still ready for more. The only problem is occasionally it snags a rock and it stops tilling, and I have to remove the plates and get the rock out. And the Antelope Valley's #1 produce is rocks. I removed many rocks from my garden when I was tilling it the first time. No, they're not, which is why you have to plant the carrots next to the radishes. The radishes break the soil, and then the carrots can grow in the broken soil. Right now we're throwing them in our front lawn, which is the area we are able to get the least use out of. See, a lawn, of course, an actual lawn takes water, and we didn't want to grow standard grass there. We're growing grass in a small part dedicated to luxury of having a yard. So we decided to spoil ourselves. It's not a big backyard, probably as big as a standard in-city backyard. But we have a small spot just for grass simply because we wanted a luxury item. But the front lawn, we decided we wouldn't bother with that. So since I tried to grow mint, regular mint, and failed because mint likes acidic soil and mine's alkaline, we decided to put rocks down instead. We're also saving the rocks for when we put in our berry patch. We'll put down a weed screen to keep the weeds from growing and put rocks down on top of it. And the Antelope Valley, I don't need to go buy a bag of gravel. I can till the garden for it. Yes? A what?
Can you try the square foot?
Square foot? Not sure what your question means.
Is that gardening?
No, I'm doing standard gardening rows of different crops in each plot and rotating the plots.
What are you going to do with your alfalfa and stuff? Is that what you're going to do with the soil?
Well, the alfalfa is going to be grown mostly for animal feed. When we grow wheat, we will of course thresh the wheat so that we can save the seed and feed the straw to the animals. We may grind it just to see how well that works, or we may just sell it as bags of wheat. We'll save some for seed. Alfalfa, of course, some for seed and some just for straw. Sorghum for the sugar and the straw. The reason why we want to plot for the grains is really to help break up the soil, especially alfalfa, which has deep roots. We really want to get the roots deep into the soil so that when other things are planted in that plot, they can take advantage of it. Oh yes, five plots is actually an optimal rotation, because I have 4 things growing and 1 lying fallow. Corn is the reason I'm doing a 5-plot rotation. Corn is very greedy when it comes to soil nutrients. It will leach the soil. That's why you plant meat scraps under your corn. That's why the Indians planted fish, and we're going to plant chicken bones and fish skins and stuff. Because corn is greedy, and it takes about that long for the soil to recover enough to grow corn again. Other things can grow in there after the fallow year. The corn is the last thing before fallow. Other things can grow in there the year 2, 3, and 4, but year 5 corn, nothing grows there. It takes 5 years for it to replenish enough for corn. Okay.
So you compost directly into the soil?
We have a compost heap, and when it's time to fertilize, we will spread that on the soil and then till it in. Yes, it is. See, the philosophy that I'm going for is, in luxurious times, you spend money to save time, but in hard times, you spend time to save money. And like I said at the beginning, I'm trying to squeeze a penny until a booger shoots out Lincoln's nose. Yes?
Will your chickens be free range, or are they in coop?
Sort of halfway in between. Those dog kennel cages that I mentioned, well, we're also planning on getting those for the chickens, because Lake LA has more than its share of free-running dogs. So we can't have truly free-range chickens, but we're trying to give them a large enough enclosure with natural food in there as well as chicken feed. And by the way, I've read that a great way to entertain yourself for a half an hour or so is to throw a box of crickets into your chicken coop.
You may want to make an enclosure that you can move around.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that I might do that. Right now, what I'm thinking, I mean, if after I have the fences fully built up and I no longer am worried about dogs, I'll have the chickens running free with the goats. Until then, I want to have them protected from the dogs. Now, these cages are not fixed to the ground. They can be moved.
Okay, but moving the chickens around combats the bugs and enriches the soil. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of reasons to do that.
Yes, and we can do that. I mean, with Lowe's dog kennel cages, because they are not fixed to the ground. The one around the bees is, but that's only because we have planted rose vines right on it, and the rose vines do not want to be free range. But the other ones without the vines clinging to them, they can be moved, and we can arrange to shuffle it around every once in a while. Maybe every week or 2 weeks, maybe if we get lazy every month. But they will be able to move around much more than in a factory farm. Think that's all? Yes?
Do you grow any Soylent Green up there?
Not on my farm, but I'm not sure about some of my neighbors.
All right, good.
I think that's it.
All right, thanks, Jason.
I'm sorry, I had to reduce it to the lowest common